So I thought I'd do a little video about how my experience has been living in uni accommodations or living in halls or whatever you would call it. Don't mind, the chair is a bit squeaky as well. I kind of had this idea that it would be like in the movies, in the hallways everyone talks to each other and you get really close with your flatmates and just like this full-on experience. And kind of last year it was like that. I lived in the same halls that I do now last year, but since I started my uni during COVID, there was like lockdowns and everything got online and pubs weren't open, clubs weren't open, student activities weren't really on, so we didn't really get an opportunity to meet a lot of people except from the people we lived with. So last year we got really close. We had a lot of like flat parties with just our little group and like family dinners, and it was really nice. But the experience is definitely different this year. First thing to expect is definitely the kitchen. We have a communal kitchen. It's going to be a mess all the time, unless like you're really lucky. The sink's always disgusting. The bins are always filled. No one ever empties them. The bins are quite tall as well, so I've had to literally, for some reason, people don't seem to like understand when the bin is full, you take out the bag and put in a new one. So I've had to like take out the most disgusting things from the bottom of the bins because like people haven't even, the bags have fallen down and they've like just kept tossing things in there and it's gone like underneath and it's just awful. So I definitely would invest in a pair of rubber gloves in case of emergencies, and definitely just clean your cutlery straight away, get it done. Or do like me, I keep them in my room until I clean them, because then it's not in the sink and I don't want to leave my stuff in the sink because there's so much nasty stuff and people just keep putting their dirty stuff in there. So then you would have to like grab up all the other stuff before you reach yours, which is just no, not the vibe. So this is how a big kitchen looks. It's quite massive. You have a lot of like seating areas and then you just have this little couch area. So this probably might look different because you can switch them around. And then these are how the bins look. They look awful, but we don't use them because of all the shit that happened with them, like stuff being in them. So we just have this solution, which is so much better because you see what happens. It's just disgusting all the time. So definitely talk to your flatmates and try and figure out a way to do that. And then there's always like shit everywhere, dirty. And this is what I'm talking about. I just did my washing, cleaned it, put it there, but I literally had to dig with some tongs in there to get the water out because it's stuffed to the brim with food. And this is my washing up liquid that I would definitely recommend keeping it in your cupboard so that you can keep it to yourself and not everyone abuses it. And then this is the oven. As you can see, this is just a guessing game. On this one you can see we have some left, so definitely turning it like this is like 200 degrees, and then I usually just turn it on 1. That's how this one works. So you kind of, these you kind of just have to figure out what works. But as you can see, the hobs don't have like any symbols, so this one is this one, this one is this one, this one is this one, and this one is this one. And this is the highest, so to the right is the highest and to the left is the lowest. So that's kind of just from trial and error, you kind of figure it out. And then you're supposed to, oh my god, no way, we've got a Hoover. We haven't had the Hoover this whole year and we've got one. I'm gonna vacuum my room. Okay. Second thing, this year I'm living in a flat with 8 other people. Luckily I have an ensuite, so I have my own bathroom and shower. Would not be able to handle having my own or like having to share with other people. So that's really nice. But definitely I feel like most people during Freshers Week is more likely to be very like open to like meeting people, talking to people, because everyone's kind of like new. Obviously second years and third years kind of have their little groups, but first years are always like open to meet people and try and say hi to people in the elevator, maybe have a little chit chat. You will see like familiar faces, like I see some familiar faces from last year, and those people will kind of go on repeat, but don't really talk to that many people just down the hallways, or just get invited in like, oh, come on in, we're having a party. So that's not really what's happened. I would definitely, especially with your flatmates, I would recommend trying to be like outgoing and like to say hi, get to know them. This year I noticed it's been very different, because since I live with 8 people, one of them, sorry, I don't know his name because he hasn't introduced himself. And yeah, the other girl, she just comes in the kitchen to fill up her water filter, and then she goes back to her room. I've never seen her eat in the kitchen. We've just got a new guy in. He's nice, don't really know much about him, keeps to himself. And I think we're 3, 4, 5 other girls I know, and like 3 of them I see more commonly than the others, and we've gone out and stuff, but the 2 others also kind of like do their own thing. So I feel like definitely this year is different, because people have their social groups and they have kind of figured out what happens, you know. So for when you move in, I would definitely recommend getting a second bin, because you only get 1 bin here if you're lucky, and that's for I have one in the bathroom, one under my desk. And I would also recommend getting like organization stuff. Like I've gotten 2 bins for my wardrobe that I have my clothes in, like my pants and stuff, and all my trousers, and then I have 2 bins up there that I keep like extra supplies, like kitchen supplies, dishwashing and stuff like that. So definitely invest in like extra storage spaces, because there's mostly just like shelves, and it's hard to keep things organized, especially in this tiny room. You kind of try, but it just turns into a mess. So this is the room, and this is a small room. When you walk in, you have a door like this, and you can lock it, you see. So if you have a standard room, your bed goes like this kind of, and you have more like room space in general. Good thing about this Defoe, you have an ensuite, which is really nice. It's not the biggest bathroom, but I mean it's more than enough. You also get this lovely shelf thing that it's retractable, I think it's called, to hang your washing. Obviously you have to do really small washings for that to work, but they do have dryers. You get a shelf here to store all your shit, another shelf here. Obviously I have a lot of products and I need to wash my mirrors. That's nice. And then you have the shower, works, you know, that's all you really need. So it's definitely livable, and it's not even that bad. Here you have like a place where you can hang like your coats and stuff. Mine is missing one. I did not break this. It was missing when I came here. And then in Defoe, you can live in either A block, B block, or C block. So I live in B block, and they have these lovely green walls. And in C block they have blue. And in A block I don't really know, so can't really help you. And then you have this little area. I've put up like a shoe rack to keep my shoes not like everywhere. And then you get this wardrobe, which is stuffed. I need to organize it. So I've put 2 bins down here for my jeans so that there's more room. And then you have 2 shelves here, which I also got like organizers for, if that makes sense. And then you have extra storage up here. I just have like toilet paper and like different stuff for the kitchen. And yeah, I need to organize up here, but yes, a lot of shelf space. The bed is like okay. I would definitely recommend getting like, I have an extra like thingy, mattress thing, because I could like feel the spines going into my back when I was sleeping, which was not the vibe. And then you get a desk. You have a lot of like drawers. I use this one for clothes as well, so you kind of just have to organize how suits you. Most of the time, unless you're lucky, you look out to the other rooms. So this is A block, and I'm so lucky that this is the smoking area. And I can tell you one thing, I would try not to get a room next to the smoking area. So I would definitely recommend trying not to get a room next to the smoking area, because every time there's a party or every time people go out, they always end up outside babbling on, yelling, screaming, fighting, laughing, and I hear it all throughout the night. It's painful. I can show like a little clip that I've taken, like you can hear it quite nicely even with the windows closed, which is kind of annoying. Yeah. And another thing is the washing machine situation in this building. I swear to God, it's not the vibe at all. So they have a washing system here. It's an app you download. It's called Circuit, and then you add money to it and you kind of like scan the machine you want to use. It's like £3.30 for a wash and then £1.80 for a dryer, and it's not too bad, but they are disgusting. So what I tend to do is so basically the machines are disgusting. I found one machine that isn't disgusting, which is the one I'm using. I don't know the number of it, but that's the only one that I know of. Last week me and my friend tried to go to like a laundrette or whatever it's called to wash clothes there because I was so sick of it here, but it costs £6, so you do get a fair price for washing your clothes here. So you kind of just have to choose to look past that they're disgusting or see if they've been cleaned, I guess. So I definitely wash my stuff in the sink, like socks, underwear, like if it's just a sweater like or like a small jump, no, not a small jump, if it's like a small top or something, I can just wash it quickly in the sink. So just clean the sink and then wash it with a hand wash. Works perfectly fine. So that is what I do instead of using the washing machine. So I just clean this sink to make sure it's clean to wash my clothes in. Okay, and then I just let it get to the hottest, and then I just add my tops to soak for a little bit. So yeah, nice. So that was my experience of living accommodation and Daniel Defoe. Obviously this is just my interpretation of it and how I've experienced. Obviously people might experience differently, but yeah, hopefully it was useful to someone. Because I know when I was applying to University of Greenwich, I was like googling and YouTubing, trying to see how the campus looked, how the different accommodations looked, and I didn't really find that much. Especially I didn't find anything for Daniel Defoe. I kept rewatching the videos they have online and they're quite old. So yeah, I figured why not just make one. So hopefully it was useful. Got a bit of a stutter going on today, but hope you liked it.